What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Career Mode. We're into episode number 122 now. And before we start today's episode, I just want to say quickly, I apologize in advance. There was no double upload yesterday, and it looks as if there'll be no double upload tonight either. The only reason being, I've been extremely busy with IRL stuff, and I've had to basically record this and edit it the same day, and then try and get it out for tomorrow, or the day you're watching this, basically. So, I recorded this the night before, and hopefully it'll be out in that time. If it's not, I apologize. But like I said, there's nothing I can do when you put in a situation where you literally have no time. I'm trying to make sure I'm still uploading every single day, and I've never missed a day yet as of, so hopefully that'll continue. But as I say, I apologize in advance. The fact there was no double upload yesterday, and there's most likely not going to be one tonight either. Hopefully they'll go back to normal tomorrow, which will be Friday if you're watching this on the Thursday. I'm hoping that I'll have a double upload from tomorrow back as per usual, but you'll still enjoy this regardless, hopefully, and if you do, then I'd appreciate if you could smash that like rating. You guys are absolutely incredible for all the support you show on the channel as per usual. Everything I've asked you to do, I've asked you guys are just, you basically do everything I ask, and I can't ask for any more than what you guys already do as well. So your support is greatly appreciated. I've said this so many times in the channel before, but I have to keep reiterating the point because it is genuinely absolutely amazing everything you do for the channel. So to kick the episode off today, we actually do have this game coming up against Bologna. Now, if you followed me beforehand, which you probably didn't, because when I first came into career mode, or when I first started posting career mode daily, it was the back end of FIFA 16, and we had a Lazio career mode. Bologna were my bogey team. I've mentioned it this series already beforehand, and when we played them the first time round, this time we're playing them at home. So, again, it should be quite a comfortable game, this one, but there is potentially going to be that little side of me, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that these are already going to be my bogey team. I haven't come across my bogey team as of yet, and what I mean by that is, of course, a team that you just seem to never be able to play against in career mode. I had it back in the Leeds United save at the start of the sort of season when we played against Manchester United. They kept beating me in the first season we got to the Premier League, which was absolutely ridiculous because in both occasions I didn't feel as though we were really that bad in the games. And yeah, there was somewhat of a bogey team in that one, and the likes of Liverpool have been a bogey team, and Watford and people like that as well. It's weird, but we got off to a good start in this one. 19 minutes into it, Raul Jimenez in the side today to come back and try his hand at getting himself on the golden boot. 'Cause if you remember, he was in fact the top scorer. He's actually not now though, due to the fact of him being out of favour slightly here in this Inter Milan setup, and also when he was playing, he was in a bit of a drought. But he got himself a goal in this one, and got himself back to scoring in between the sticks and finishing off the chances that he got. A very nice finish nonetheless as well, past the keeper. Took the lead 20 minutes in, Raul Jimenez with the finish as well. So it's looking as if he will possibly be grabbing himself maybe the golden boot come the end of the season. I don't quite know what to make of this really, because we've got four really good strikers at the moment who are playing and sort of keeping each other at the side when they're playing well. So I don't know. For now, if he keeps up the goal scoring that he's currently on, then maybe as he grabs himself a second here to make it 2-0 from a rebounded effort, thanks to Inaki Williams originally going through and striking one goalwards. So that takes him off to 2 for the episode and 2 for this game so far. And that, guys, pretty much put him back in the top end of the sort of goal scorers. I think he then jumped up to second after this game. So in terms of that one, he's gone from pretty much being, I'd say, 6th or even 7th to jumping way back up to second by scoring 2 goals in the same game. So that's not too bad to see either. It's nice, as I say numerous times so far, or 13 league goals on now. So I've said it before, it's nice to have people coming off the bench and scoring goals, even when you maybe they're not first choices here. But still, it's pretty good to see that I can rely on anybody to grab the goals, and he really should have got himself a hat-trick. Lovely little dink towards the back post there by Vincenzini. Unfortunately, though, Raul Jimenez header comes back off of the post, and it was quite unfortunate, really, because if he'd have got himself a hat-trick, he would have then been the top scorer in the league. Right now, I think he's joint top scorer on 13. I think he's pretty much up there, and if not, I just needed that to go in, and he would have been the top scorer currently in the division. But it is what it is. He'll get his chances come later on in the episode, possibly, maybe even in tomorrow's episode. He will get his chances, so you know what it is. But Juventus winning again by 3-0. So, provided I keep winning, I said this before, it's in our hands. So, if we can keep our results up, it really doesn't matter what Juventus do. Because right now, I think we are sat currently 5 points clear of them. So, provided that we keep up what I'm saying, then we should win the title. I mean, I said to you guys, we are going to drop points against a team that you won't be expecting it, and it's most likely going to happen at some point where we'll lose or even draw to a team where we'll have 14 or 15 shots, and they will have one, and it'll end like a 1-1 or a 1-0 to them, and it's going to happen. It happens in FIFA. I've noticed it quite a bit, actually, when I'm playing career mode and stuff, and it's so frustrating. And by the way, if I'm keep taking pauses in the commentary, I've got a really, really bad toothache at the moment, so I'm trying to keep up with the commentary and stuff, but it really is just getting to the point where I have to keep sort of stopping the commentary slightly. So if you ever notice a break in it, just know that that's the reason why. If there's ever like a slight break in commentary, that's basically it, because my tooth is absolutely in agony. But We came into this one here against Lazio, and they were sat in 6th place. And this, again, comes back to the point I was making in, was it yesterday's episode or the day before that, where I was talking about how many good teams are in the Calcio A. And you've got to say as well, the fact that Lazio are not in the top 4, the fact that Milan are not in there, Napoli are not in there, just shows you how difficult this league can be. So the fact that we're still unbeaten after 22 or 23 games now is absolutely unbelievable. And it's a great achievement. And you have to say, with this team, there is potentially going to be that sort of side of me that thinks we can win the Champions League in this season if we can go all the way to the final. But we'll have to see, of course, because Leeds are still in there. A lot of big teams will still be in there. Half-time in this one, though, guys, it was a stalemate, 0-0. It was a very boring first half, so I changed up the formation, decided that I was going to go with a 4-3-1-2. Occasionally, I will change my formation up if I don't think it's working in-game, which I didn't feel as though it was here. And we eventually had the first chance of the half. Into the second half, 63 minutes in, I think it was. Ziterbo, great strike, and then the keeper made a save like that. And when I saw that save coming, I was just thinking it's not going to be my day. That was, though, until we got a throw in on the left-hand side, threw it into the centre of the pitch. Sanchez, I really love the way he holds up the ball just long enough to feed Lee's Melo there. As the right-back goes through, I did not mean to go near post. I meant a low-driven shot across the body of the keeper, but it is what it is. Sometimes it works out in your favour and you go near post and it goes in the back of the net. Of course, back in FIFA days, in like, what was it, FIFA 14 was it, I think, or maybe even 15, the near post OP shot was absolutely broken. So, rolling back the years there, I guess, in the iterations of FIFA by scoring that one there to take the lead. But still, very good finish nonetheless. And from a right-back who has nowhere near the quality of finishing that you would need in a position, if I did that 10 times over, that strike there, the chances are he'll score it maybe twice out of the 10 times, which, you know, it comes down to the point of, like, you know, sometimes in FIFA, yes, it's completely skill, but other times it can be luck-based completely, man. Like, you can have 14 shots and hit the bar from 3 of them and end up coming away with no goal in the game. And then other times you can have 1 shot, it go in, and you're absolutely buzzing because you've won the game by a goal to 0. So although there is a lot of skill involved in FIFA, sometimes I sort of think to myself, it is quite luck-based as well. But it is what it is. I mean, at the top level of FIFA, you can see it when they're playing regionals and stuff in Foot Champions. Yes, it is quite a lot of skill. Sometimes it is luck, but majority of the time at that sort of level of FIFA, it is sort of this sort of skill. But when you compare that to my games, a lot of the time it comes down to if I'm that lucky or not. But you can see we've got a nice bit of growth coming out of Lees Melu and Silvera. And I want to just mention right now, I am planning on putting Vincencini into the skill sort of side of things so he can grow himself in overalls or the training system. I just keep forgetting to do it. Like, honestly, I keep telling myself to put him in there, and every time I've come to do it, I keep pressing the Y and then just instantly skipping the training sessions because that's what I've always done. If I remember to do it, I'll put him in there, but I apologise in advance because he was actually supposed to go in there, and I don't know why I haven't done it yet. But we came into this one here against Atlanta, and honestly, do you remember when I said beforehand that we were going to drop points to a team that we weren't expecting? Well, this would be a side in which I would say if we were to drop points, it would most likely be to a side like Atalanta. And I mean, no disrespect by that, of course, if you support them and you watch my videos. I'm sure they do quite well in real life, but what I'm saying is, right now, in terms of career mode, they're nowhere near a team that should be testing me. You can see they're not even in the top 10 at this point. So coming into this one, still unbeaten, winning the majority of the games, only drawing 3 of the entirety of the games we've played here in the league. This should have been comfortable. You can see our team, it's pretty much an extremely strong lineup. So I came into this, no hesitations, no problems. I thought this was going to be a walk in the park, and boy, was I wrong. This game was absolutely tough. It was one of the most toughest games I've had in the entirety of this episode so far. Yao Guy, of course, starting at centre-back, formerly of us at Inter Milan. He did, in fact, move on the deadline day, if you remember back to that one. But as I mentioned, Atlanta gave me a run for my money. This was a really tough game. And in terms of a game that I would have said that we probably didn't deserve to get something out of, this might have been it. Like, honestly, guys, they gave me an absolute running. And the problem was, I had Mauro Icardi, and I thought, you know what, give him one chance, he'll bang it in back at net. But at the end of the day, when you've got Mauro Icardi and he's doing this, it's not the Mauro Icardi I'm hoping for. A low-driven shot on his stronger right foot, can't even get it on target. So at this point, I was thinking to myself, you know what, maybe I made a bad investment there in Mauro Icardi, but I brought him back for the sake of the series just because, of course, he played at Inter Milan. And then this is a situation, guys, where I sometimes feel as like the game's against me because the header from Murillo, or the clearance, rather, from Murillo, I think it was with his foot, actually, didn't go anywhere near where I wanted it, straight to the Atlanta man, and then he gives a ball inside into the sort of edge of the area, centre of the circle, if you know what I mean, just on the edge of the area. and an absolute rifle of a volley to make it 1-0. And at that point, I instantly skipped. That just shows you how like tilted I was at the fact that that went in, because you'll know if I'm tilted, because if I instantly skip a computer's goal, that means I'm tilted by it. And then when this happens, guys, and Mauro Icardi, who has just missed a simple chance, has an open goal. Yes, it's on his weak foot, but he has a 4-star weak foot. At that point, I was like, oh, hell no, you're going off now, Mauro. I'm sorry. It is what it is. If you're not finishing your chances, if you're not playing well, you will be dropped and you will be taken off. And that's exactly what I did. So it was more frustration rather than anything. And you can see, possession-wise, we had 65% to their 35. We were controlling the play. And as I said, this looks as if it was going to be one of those games where I drop points against a team just not expecting. Until at this point, I went on to all-out attack, and my centre-back, Silveira, I think he's called. It's going to take me a while, guys, to get used to his name. It's a problem with regens. I always mess up names and stuff. You've seen it in my series before. Of course, Thiago Silva's regen, and that's what we're thinking he is, somehow is able to finish off better than Mauro Icardi is. He gets in one-on-one. As I said, I was on all-out attack at this point. I switched it up and made sure that I had runners off the ball, and it seemed to work quite well. And it took right until the 74th minute for anything to happen in this at that point. And honestly, this was so harsh on Atlanta, because I get the ball, I'm trying to work the space for it. As I said, they probably deserve to get something out, and I think it was Yao Gai actually making a mistake, getting drawn out. It came to Ziterbo in the area, and he finished off the chance to make it 2-1. So I felt extremely, extremely harsh on Atalanta here, because at the end of the day, guys, they did give me a run for my money, and they probably deserved to get at least a draw out of it, maybe even more. You can see by the match facts come the end of the game, I did dominate the match, but as I go back to my original point, all that matters is that you put the ball in the back of the net. They did that. We didn't really play our best football. You can see we had pretty much 5 shots on target out of 12. That's ridiculous. That's less than 50% of our shots going on target, which is not good enough for a side like Inter Milan. So I felt very harsh on Atlanta there, and they probably deserved to get something out of the game. So credit to them. They gave me an extremely tough affair. Juventus beating Roma as well. That was one of the games that I sort of hoped Juventus were going to drop points in, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. We do in fact have a Champions League game up in the next episode as well. We'll take on Schalke for the first round of the knockout phases of the Champions League. And I just want to show you something in a second here, guys. As you can see, we're doing a little bit more training. I think we get some growth out of Silveira there. Yeah, in fact, he does go to an 84 centre-back. But I mentioned rather, that the Champions League was going to be quite tough because the likes of Leeds are in it, who have pretty much one of the best sides in Europe. But when Leeds lose 2-0 in the first game to Galatasaray, there is a lot to do at Ellen Road. So, potentially, the most difficult team that I think we could come up against in the Champions League could be knocked out in the first knockout phases. It's shaping up, guys, to be an extremely good Champions League Cup round stage for us. So, hopefully we get Faraz, and that will be in the next episode. So, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, guys. If you have, I'd appreciate if you could hit that like rating. As always, guys, thank you all for your continued support, and I will catch you all with another video very soon. Adios.